Here at Essence with Chin, you'll be guided into emotional and meaningful philosophical stories, each one a small slice of life, a place where love, compassion, and hope are gently lit. Listen with me to each story to slow down, reflect, and rediscover the beauty of life and the people around us. Because sometimes, even the smallest act can touch an entire heart. Put on your headphones and listen to the story that follows. Story: The Man Who Repaired Broken Voices. At the edge of a quiet coastal town lived an old man named Hugh, known by everyone as the Voice Mender. His house stood on a steep cliff, facing the endless sea where ships vanished into morning fog. People said he possessed a strange ability. He could fix voices, not with tools, but with patience. He had once been a singer in his youth, but after a personal tragedy, he never sang again. Instead, he opened a workshop made of driftwood and warm yellow lanterns. People from the village came to him, not for medicine, but for conversations that seemed to gently stitch their broken courage back together. One day, a frightened girl named Mai arrived. Her voice trembled like thin glass. She had failed an important school audition and believed she was worthless. Hugh made her tea, placed a smooth seashell in her hand, and said, "Hold this to your ear. Do you hear the ocean?" "Yes," she whispered. "That voice is thousands of years old, yet it's never ashamed of being loud or quiet. Why should you be?" Mai returned every evening, practicing simple humming exercises while Hio listened. Sometimes she cried, sometimes she laughed. Gradually, her voice grew steadier, still soft but certain. During this time, a fisherman named Tuan also visited the workshop. He had lost his boat to a storm. He wasn't there for his voice, but for the silence inside him. Hio sat with him beside the cliff's edge, listening to the waves crash against the rocks. "People think voices only come from the mouth," Hio said, "but the deepest ones come from the things we survive." As the months passed, the workshop became a nighttime refuge. Some came with anger, others with loneliness. Hio never promised solutions. He only listened deeply enough so people could hear themselves clearly again. But one evening, a letter arrived addressed to Hio. The handwriting was unfamiliar. Inside was a faded photograph of a woman and a child, his wife and daughter. Both had died in a landslide decades ago. The letter was from the rescue worker who found them. It read, "I have carried guilt all my life for not reaching them sooner. If this letter finds you, I hope you can forgive me." Hugh stayed awake the entire night. His lantern burned low, flickering like a heartbeat. By dawn, Tuan and Mai found him sitting outside, watching the sea turn gold. "Are you all right?" Mai asked. Hio nodded slowly. "I spent decades repairing other people's voices, but never dared to repair my own." He gave Mai the letter. She read it and wept for him. "What will you do?" she whispered. "I will reply, and then I will sing again." That evening, under a soft purple sky, villagers gathered on the cliff. Hio stepped into the center, lifted his trembling chin, and released his voice into the wind. It wasn't perfect. It cracked on the high notes, but it carried a lifetime of sorrow, love, and forgiveness. The village listened in absolute stillness. Tuan said softly he mended the last voice that needed healing, his own. From that day on, Hugh continued helping others, but he also began singing each morning at sunrise. Ships sailing near the cliffs said they sometimes heard a human voice woven gently into the sound of waves, a voice broken long ago, now whole. And the town learned a quiet truth. A voice doesn't need to be flawless to be powerful. It only needs to be honest. After hearing these stories, what did you feel? What did you recognize in yourself? Leave a comment and let me know. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you can hear more stories like this on the next nights